What's happening, Blue Nosies? Blues are back.
We've put a massive statement out yet again.
We deserve this now, don't we? We deserve the fucking good times. And welcome to Bill's back garden. What's happening, Blue Nosies? Thought I'd do a quick video just to reflect on last night's game. So unfortunately, me and Alfie are struggling to get away tickets at the moment. You know, with the lower allocations and not having the membership criteria, but hopefully we can get to some as quickly as possible, so we can do some away day vlogs and stuff like that. So that was the first defeat in the league campaign so far, and if I'm being totally honest, I think it's been coming. I think the last few results have maybe flattered us. The performance against Ipswich, wasn't too bad, but let's be honest, they're a bit disjointed. They've had a lot of ins and outs, and probably haven't kind of settled into the championship. I mean, we're unlucky not to get the 3 points with that dubious penalty, but we didn't create enough chances, did we? The Blackburn game, again, very, very flat performance. And I think we got quite lucky, obviously with the penalty, and that changed things and the momentum, and we caught them late on the break. And then, same story last night. There's a lot of huff and puff, isn't there, with no end substance at the moment in that final third. It's quite concerning, really. I mean, we're having a few shots on goal, but nothing on target. And if you're not hitting the target, you can't expect to score goals, can you? So I think looking at the stats, I think we've had 3 on target in 3 games, which is pretty poor. We've got to be honest. So if we take a look at the FootMob stats, so again, no surprise, we're having the ball, aren't we? We've got lots of possession, so 55% possession. Expected goals, 0.83, with a total shots of 11 to Leicester's 5. They've had 2 on target and they've scored them, so they're clinical, aren't they? We've had one shot on target, so that highlights, our biggest area at the moment. And, I was quite excited having Kyogo come in, looking at his highlight reels from Celtic. I thought he's going to get a load of chances, he's going to get a load of goals, but, can't really get on his back, can we? Because I don't think he's getting the service, and we're not obviously playing to his strengths. We can't put everything on Stano. Yeah, we do miss him. We do miss his intensity and his press, but one player doesn't make a team at the end of the day. And we've brought these, attacking players in, Gray, Doyle to obviously unlock things, Kumas, as bright as he's looking. We've got Dukes, so we've got time, to figure it out and to gel, but we've still got to get a performance. Going away to Leicester is always going to be tough. They're a Premier League team coming down. There was a poor Premier League team, but we've got to remember, we've come up from League One, they've come down, from the Prem. And I don't think, we looked, out of place. I think we're going to be in and around, the top half of the championship, but, automatics, not on the performance that we've seen so far. Playoffs, a late push, but I still think my prediction of top 10, is more realistic. Again, looking at the FootMob stats on the player rankings, so, we'll go through the lineup. So, Allsop in goal, they've ranked him 5.9. I thought he looked really nervous. I thought, the defence generally looked quite nervous. And I don't know if that's because, we're going up against better teams at the moment, so they're quicker and they can work us out. Maybe we're a little bit predictable. So, bright side Samuel, 6.2. We've got Neumann at 6.7. And again, I thought he looked a little bit nervous. And, he's new to English football. He's new to the team. So again, I think given time, I think, he'll come good, because there is definite signs there that, he's a good defender, a good strong player. Clara, 7.5. You wouldn't expect anything different from him. That's why he's captain. He just gives his all, doesn't he? Laird, again, he's been impressive, hasn't he? He's kind of started this season where he finished off last season. So 7.3. So obviously they highly ranked him of having a great game. Williamson, 6.0. I know a lot of fans are getting on his back. I don't think he's played too bad this season. But is he the answer to what we need? Can we replace him? Have we got better in the squad? I think players like Doyle not getting in the team over Williamson's a bit of a strange one for me. Iwata, 6.6. I do worry that we haven't got cover in our squad to replace Iwata. Because he just ticks the ball over nice in midfield, doesn't he? Keeps it assured and breaks up the opposition's attack. Paik, 6.7. I mean, he's had a good start to the season for me, and I think he's one of our best midfielders for definitely. I wouldn't not want him in the team, but I think we just need to complement him with other players around him. Gray, 6.1. I thought Gray was going to give us more of a performance, against his old club. So, whether that played a factor or whether, just a lot of our players, were misfiring last night, so we couldn't really, impact the game. Sammy Kumas, he works hard, looks bright, and I think he'll be a great addition. So they've got him at 6.3. And Kyogo, they've got him at 5.9. So, along with Allsop, they've ranked him as one of our poorer players last night. And, I think if we're not creating the chances, the clear-cut chances, I don't know what people are expecting from him, because, I think he can finish, can't he? Do you know what I mean? And I know he's had a couple of chances. He had a couple of chances against Port Vale, that were really close. He's got his goal at Sheffield, which was a tap-in, But I do think he's going to come good, and I think Chris Davies knows that. That's why he keeps persevering with him, because, strikers need confidence, and they only get confidence from scoring goals, don't they? So I think once he starts getting firing, and settles, I think he'll be fine. Looking at the Leicester side, they've got high rankings, throughout, and you normally get that from the winning team, don't you? So, the keeper, and 3 out of the 4, defenders looking really strong on their ratings. You got the midfielders, and then the forward line. And let's be honest, they've got some talented players, that are probably too good for the Championship. And at the end of the day, that's the difference, isn't it? We're not moving the ball quick enough, and that was very evident, in that cup game against Newcastle. They moved the ball, better players, Prem teams, they're moving the ball quicker. So, and I think we need to find a way of doing that. We need to find, that maybe be a bit more direct. We need to be a bit crisper. And maybe we do need better players. Maybe we've hyped it up too much. Do you know what I mean? Maybe we need to kind of have a reality check and, realise where we are as a squad at the moment. And, if we can be in and around the playoffs come the end of the season, and we can gel, and, Chris Davies, maybe adapts his playing style to the Championship, I think we might be okay. But we definitely need to move the ball quicker, and we need to be more decisive up front, and have that little bit of quality just to, create more chances and have that killer edge in front of goal. Because, you can have all the possession in the world, but if you're not doing anything with it, there's no point, is there? So I think looking at social media, and especially, posts that have been going on X, I think there's a lot of similar thoughts with last night's, results and performance and the current squad. So we're just going to take a look at a few of those comments now. So 3 shots on target in the last 3 games, and that's what I said. We struggled to create at Blackburn, against Port Vale, and now Leicester. These 2 weeks are going to be very important. So we have got the international break now, so it gives Davies time to get these new players, gelling, and see if we can, fix the faults that we've got up front. Reality kicking in. More than matched Leicester, but Blues not good enough in the final third. Leicester, in contrast, took their chances they had. Don't think favourites for the promotion thing is helping. Promising in some areas, but not important ones in and around the box. So again, just lacking that cutting edge, and that's the thoughts with that. Chris Davis said in his post-match that he's hoping for a few new additions, so maybe 1 or 2 if they can get that done. So what areas do you think we need strengthening, Blue Noses? So drop us your thoughts. Little bit of realism needed. 7 points from 4 games, having played 2 teams relegated from the Prem last season. Things will click and chances will could come good. Hopefully a reality check for a few. We're nowhere near automatic promotion side yet, and that's fine. I think we've got caught up in the media hype and expectations. So, there's a few thoughts coming across on social media. So, I probably agree with most of that, to be honest, and that's everything that I've already said. So next up for us is Stoke away. So 2 weeks now in the break. Tough one, tough away game. Stoke have been unbeaten so far this season at the time of recording this. So that's going to be another big test. So I'll be interested to see how they how they fare against West Brom. So a little bit disappointed with last night. I don't think we need to hit the panic button just yet. But let's give Davis the chance to, reflect on what we need. And if there's new additions coming in, then let's have it. But if not, let's get behind the boys, and I'm sure they will come good. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Keep right on.